Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We have a very honored guest with us. Okay. Please be seated. Come, feel comfortable with your seats. So we have a very honored guest with us today, Professor Syed Iqbal Hasanain. He is known to us as the former Vice Chancellor of Calicut University. And globally, he is known as a well-known glaciologist. He has written books on glaciology, especially with a focus on Himalayan glaciers. Then recently, he has written a few books, especially the book Fault Lines in the Faith, and also Muslims in North India. So our discussion will be focusing on the recently released, or the book released in 2023, Fault Lines in the Faith. അതിനെ ഫോക്കസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടായിരിക്കും കൂടുതലും ചർച്ച ഉണ്ടാവല്ലേ. This is a book which I read 2 days back, and what I felt is it is a book to be read not only by Muslims but non-Muslims as well. If you want to understand the scenario of Islam and how Islam is being interpreted in the world now, or rather how Islam is being misunderstood by the world now, I think all these questions have answers in his book. So with this introduction, let us start the session. Dr. Hasanain is so live, incredibly live, because a scholar aged 80 and interacting with people non-stop. Since he came here at 2:30, till this time, he was speaking a lot of things, interacting with students here, speaking on a variety of subjects. So it really surprised me. And anyhow, he likes Kerala so much, and he has a lot of Malayali friends. Now, coming back to the book. So, Professor, could you speak a little bit about your transition from a scientist into a clean observer of geopolitics, especially with a focus on Islam and politics in the Middle East? So a scientist is somebody who is exclusively confined into some scientific experiments without taking much interest in humanity and sociology. So could you speak a little bit about that transition?
Hello, thank you very much, Dr. Latheef, for the kind introduction. Actually, I was in 94, I was in University of Manchester in England, and doing a course on glaciology. And at that time, the whole churning in this Muslim world was happening at that time, because the 90s was the time when the Afghanistan very active and other places are very active, and a lot of movements were there in the community, and there was attacks on England and other places. That was the time. So when I used to go to the Jummah prayers on the Fridays with the other students, so in British universities, the Union Hall are very big, huge, and made at the British time, and they allowed the Jummah prayers there. So a lot of student community was there. They were from England, from Arabian world, from Pakistan, very few from India, it's not much. And those who are born and brought up in England. So they used to give the khutbah at that time in the Jummah, and they used to speak in that language which the Britishers know, because they are born and brought up there. And they were talking a lot of jihad at that time, that jihad is going on and the Muslims are affected, the America is doing so much bad thing to us, the Western things is doing to, they are exploiting our resources, natural resources in the Middle East, and doing nothing for us, and all kind of a narrative was created. And that was the time. So after the Jummah prayer, there used to be a letter circulated that those who are interested to go to do a 1 week fresher course in Medina, they can write their name. They will be given free air ticket, fair food, fair hotel, everything is free. And then you will be taught about the Islam's basics and other Islam. So what they are doing is the group of scholars coming from the Saudi Arabia, and they were giving, because they reinterpreted Islam, so come back to the book now. That was the time I was exposed to that. And in this book, can you show me the book to the people? So the book is False Line in the Faith, how the events of 79 shaped the Islamic world. So there are two things in it by the title of the book. One is the year, 79. So you can ask me what is so important about 79. And another thing is the fault lines. So what are the fault lines in the Islam? Okay.
So how did you zero on the title? It was suggested by someone else, or you suggested it?
No,
yourself?
I have not suggested. We had a discussion about it. First I thought that weaponization of Islam, no, say it is not good. So when they thought it with the editors, and then we came to this title. So in this, two things are important. One the year and one is the events. So year 79, what happens in the 79, if you recall, in the February 2nd, to be very exact, Islamic revolution took place in Iran. It was uprising from the bottom. It's not the monarchy of, it's not removed by the army or military, but the local people as uprising. And Imam Khomeini has come from Paris or France. He was living in exile. And that was an upsurge on Shiaism globally. Shiaism is there right from 680 when the Karbala took place. Karbala happened in 680. And since then there was a division among the Muslim community between those who say or claim that Ali should be the first Khalifa, and the other group say no, Abu Bakr is the first Khalifa because he was the companion of Prophet. So that kind of a tussle was there. But I believe in it. Ali has never complained about it because Ali was the fourth Khalifa and he never complained. After his death, his followers started complaining that there was a discrimination and there should be a dynastic kind of a politics. I call it a dynastic because he is the son-in-law of Prophet Muhammad, and he said that he should there, but he was a very close companion of Prophet. So he was there. Anyway, I'm not going. But the division happened at that time. But that division was there among the Muslims, and every community in North India, I see the Muslims, the Shias and Sunnis, marrying together, working together, never bother who is Shia, who is Sunni, globally. But what happens after this, there is a resurgence in the Shiaism globally. So the Saudi clergy, the religious people were really upset about it. Okay, that will be the upsurge globally, and they follow humbly jurisprudence type of Islam. It is there right from the beginning, but it was also very quiet, calm, and they were not very assertive at that time. And when in 1938 the oil was discovered, the Saudi Arabia is growing. So you see a lot of American shows were shown on the TV. The ladies are going to have cafes, driving cars, and they are quite modern kind of a people. So that way they were angry about it, and they were complained to the royal family, but royal family never listened to them. But after this Iranian revolution, they were more assertive, and they say that either you do it, and then they seized the holy mosque. That is also 79. Juman Ottoman was the leader of that. He was the former Royal Guard member. But behind them is the clergy of Saudi Arabia, who are the followers. of the Hanbali version of the Islam, which believes Ibn Taymiyyah. Then you go to the 13th century Ibn Taymiyyah, who said that between human being and God there is nothing in between. Even the Muhammad is just a messenger who gave on the book was relieved on him, but not beyond that, and we should not go and touch his grave and all those. And Sufism, they called it, is an aberration in Islam, and they were against the people who are pious people, and they are going to pray there and touching their thing and asking dua that they will help us in solving our problem. So that was the 17, and the same year the Russian forces attacked the Afghanistan. And then the Mujahideen started fighting. Mujahideen was not very having anything, because they are very poor people. They are fighting with them on the horses and all that. Then America at that time was the president was Ronald Reagan, and he gave them an idea. To some of these experts gave him an idea. Why don't we arm the Mujahideen, and they will throw out the Russian forces from the Afghanistan, because the Ronald Reagan was very much against the Soviet Union from his own childhood, just like so many other presidents, and he hates Soviet Union's empowerment, so he wanted to throw them out from that. So that way they funded that. And then Osama bin Laden was supporting, Americans were supporting Osama bin Laden at that time. And he was with them in the jihad and all that. And that the three events which happened in the 79. So the 79 is a very pivotal year in the Islamic history. Very pivotal year. So after that, the Saudi monarchy had an agreement with the clergy and say, okay, we run the government, we run the country as a monarch, you run the Islam. And the Muslim World League is there, is an NGO kind of a thing in Saudi, and they started paying money to them, and the first installment of $5 billion they gave, you do whatever you like. You reinterpret Islam, you change the hadith and all that from your point of view, and you do whatever you like. We are not going to bother you, but you should not bother us. We are running the monarchy. And that's what the...
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
So in the book, you spoke about two projections of Islam in the world, especially Wahhabi, Salafi-based perception ideology of Islam, and also a Sunni tradition-based projection and ideology of Islam. How these are different or mutually exclusive?
You know, when Ibn Taymiyyah gave an idea, it was after the Mongol invasion. Mongol invasion took place, and the Abbasiyat was the rulers at that time, and it was Islam was growing like a good literature, good music, good. It was growing, and it was the golden period of Islam. 8th, 9th, 10th century was known as the golden period of Islam. Then the Mongol invaded, and they have destroyed everything. So Ibn Taymiyyah was a Syrian scholar, and he said, because why you happened? Because you deviated from the real Islam. You are not following the real Islam. The real Islam is that which he propagated, that it was the time Salah. Salah means original. In Salafi, original. In the Prophet Muhammad's time was the Islam practice. We will follow that practice, and after 2 generations after Prophet also followed. So why don't we follow that? And in that the Sufism has no place and other things. So he started giving that, but nobody was taker, because Ottomans were the ruler at that time, and they are Sufis, and they are against that. So it could not happen that way. Yeah.
Sir, you have been talking about the politics of Middle East always been like a chessboard politics.
We call the West Asia from here.
Yeah. So, how you analyze the events? You are one of the analysts of the modern times. What is your methodology in analyzing an event?
I had an opportunity of visiting many places in the world because of my glaciology. So once I was there in the northern Japan. I don't think any Muslim was there. I saw a mosque there. I visited. I said, there is no Muslims. Why you say Saudi government has built up a mosque here. I went to Alaska. Hardly very few Muslims in Alaska. There was a big mosque. So, and globally, whether South America or Africa or anywhere, so that money, they had a lot of money at that time, so they were building and putting up their literature, the changed literature of Hadith and the Quran in those mosques. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Does it mean that Saudi government had a hidden agenda of propagating certain ideology by constructing a lot of mosques in different parts of the world?
Yeah. And they only give the mosque, they build the mosque, they give the literature and send the experts there to convert the people. So in America, if you go to America, all universities at that time as having the Islamic societies, and all young people were Arabs and other people were studying there. So all Islamic, they entered that Islamic society and they changed the literature there and the Hadith. And that is how these boys and girls became more jihadist. Because jihadi, I'm not in my book, I have not written against Wahhabism. Wahhabi came in 18th century and talked with the King Saud, and then that is a separate story, I've written it. So this Salafism and Wahhabism really changing the mindset of the people and making them, the version they are making them more jihadist, hating other religions. So I met one person in America. He was from Nicaragua, and I asked him, he gave me some name in some Islamic society, and he said, I'm so. So I asked him, have you converted to Islam? He said, no sir, I'm not converted, I'm reverted back. So he had a concept that all the boys, all the human beings born in the world, whether in the Christian community or Hindu community or any community, they're born as a Muslim. They're born as a Muslim, but the family made them Christian or
there
Hindu.
Is a hadith regarding that.
Yeah, that was, it was a hadith.
Yeah, there is a hadith regarding that. Kullu mawludin yuladu al-fitra.
Maybe. So he was introduced the word of reverted back.
Yeah.
So I am reverted back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, you have been talking always about Sufism, a better alternative.
Yeah.
How you feel this Sufism can heal all this problem?
Yeah. No, if you see the Indian Islam, I say that Indian Islam is spread organically. Say in Kerala, for example, you have so many Arabs used to come here and they stay here 6 months because of the monsoon winds, and they marry sometimes here and their children are there. So that kind of a people that became here, the Muslims started growing in numbers. So what Sufism tells us, Sufi and the Bhakti movement have the commonality.
Yeah.
So all the Sufis are introducing the pious and friendship and love for others, not hate for others. And that was the impact on Sufism. And Sufism has grown very big in India. And a lot of Sufi scholars from Bukhara and other Chishti and all those things, even your Zainuddin Makhdoom in Punnani has come from Saudi Arabia and Central Asia. They were there too. So another thing which I have not written book, but I have read recently, is a very interesting thing. That so much is churning in the West Asia and in Central Asia in those times, and they were the Turks who were very. They have entered into the Abbasid regime as a soldiers, and some of the Turks are not Muslims. They were Buddhists or some pagans and all that, and they were fighting with each other, changing the government, and some they spill over and they attack India also. They anchored in India and they established ultimately. So actually Indian Islam came by what is happening in the Central Asia and the West Asia at that time. That was the impact of that. So some people were, say for example in Ghaznavi, when Mr. Mahmood and his all lost it, so there was a Safi or something Iranian federation was formed, which has the Khorasan and all those people, and these Guruds or somebody in northern Afghanistan, they cannot fight them, so they entered India and captured. So that's very interesting things in Islam happened in India.
Yeah, okay. So, especially in 1980s and 90s, jihadism got wider popularity.
Right.
And people started flowing into jihadism. So, in one of your chapters, you have said that Wahhabism is one of the basic reasons for this globalization of jihadism.
Yeah, so because everything, if you you have a international dimensions of anything, you require money. Money power is very important. So that group was, because that group was having a lot of money, so they are going everywhere and they spread that kind of a thing. Even in India, you see, the Hanafi Sufi Islam was spread in North India and here. And now the people have changed after 79. And those who are going to the Saudi Arabia, working there, they also changed and became influencer here. And earlier, I remember in my childhood, in North India, there is a lot of Prophet Muhammad's birthday used to be celebrated, and even your children's birthday is celebrated. But now they stopped it, and he said it is against Islam. Your matrilineal or matriarchal society was also affected by selfization, because all Kerala people were using that or having practiced that matriarchally, and which empowers the women here. And that is not against, Islam is not against empowering the women, but it's still the Salafis said, oh, it is a Hindu tradition, we should not adopt it, and they tried, and the Britishers also helped them so many times. So all these things are changing.
So this ideology, Salafist ideology, is one of the hydra-headed monsters that eating to the very root of the traditional Islam.
Yeah, not all. Those who practices violence. So they say that violence and hate against the other faith is also sanctioned by Islam. They twist Islam that way, the Salafists and the Wahhabis. Though it is not true, because no Islam allows you to hate others.
Morocco has came with a smart idea, and in Kerala, many of the universities are prescribing the literature produced by these Salafist ideologies. Shall it make a different version of Islam, or shall it harm the true Islam?
Yeah, no, I tell you what happened in Morocco. Morocco also was having a lot of suicide bombing in Casablanca and other places, and the present king's father was there, Hassan. Whoever was Hassan 2 or 1, I don't know, Hassan 1. And he took a lot of funding from Saudi Arabia and put the literature in their madrasas. So in Morocco they have a madrasa minister or religious minister also. And he was very much worried that this violence is spreading everywhere, because Morocco is a touristic country. A lot of tourists come and they earn a lot of money. And it's a very peaceful type of Maliki Islam jurisprudence they follow. So once the earlier king died, the new king is said, then we will not follow that and we will change. We will go back to the Maliki jurisprudence and we put up the literature about that. And then they were removed all the literature from all madrasas and all that, the Wahhabi literature or Salafi literature, and brought that back to that. And then they were, since then there is no violence in Morocco, and Morocco is living very peacefully with other Christians, with the other group. And Macron, because a lot of Muslims are there traditionally in France for a long time. And Muslims in France don't live in the towns. They live outside the towns, and they made their own conclaves and they're more villages kind of a thing. And they became very isolated kind of a community. And they had a brush with the Wahhabi Islam. Then the Macron has put up restrictions on them, removed all that literature, and took, because they're all French speaking from Morocco, and brought all that French literature from there. French written Islamic literature and spread in all that. And now France is very calm. Otherwise, you have seen that on the music concerts and other things, they attacked. And they say it is not Islamic, but now don't say anything like that. So that so much has been changed since the Prince Salman has come in 2017. He said that we are restoring Islam, we are not reinterpreting Islam. He said that Islam was there before 79, I am doing that. And that is what he was more tolerant. And he said that we should not go. And the modernization, another thing which I want to add up here, if you go, Islam is spread from Arabia on two directions. One is the Mediterranean side, one is the Red Sea side. The Mediterranean side is more Sufi in Casablanca and in Istanbul or Alexandria and Andalusia. So they are Sufi and more tolerant version of Islam, more urban Islam. But the Islam which has gone to the Red Sea side into Saudi Arabia or other countries is a desert Islam. Some people call it a desert Islam, and is more Puritan Islam, and which is the derivative of Wahhabism.
Okay, one of the chapters in the book is named like radicalization of Muslim youth.
Yeah.
So what were the tools used in order to radicalize Muslim youths even across the world?
No, what I mean by radicalization, that you motivate. Say recently what happened in Kashmir, they were motivated and radicalized. Their mindset was made that you kill the Hindus, you kill the other people, but you don't kill the Muslims there. If you get some Muslims, that's why they are asking the name. So that is not the natural Islam. That is a radicalized Islam that you motivated. Similar happened in Islamic State. If you remember, then in Iraq, they have changed everything, and he said that I am the Imam or whoever was that. And then Al-Qaeda was there like that. So they are radicalizing and motivating the people to do violence and harm the people. And one direction they were teaching them, not the other direction. Because if you want to kill somebody, whether it's a Muslim or any community, so you have to be motivated to kill him. Why should I kill somebody if I am not motivated? So my motivation should be there. Either my financial motivation, so that okay, I took a lakh or 2 lakhs rupees and killed somebody, so he has no religious background. But you say no, your religion say they are against you, and then you have to kill them and you get the Jannah. Jannah is the another lure for them. If you do it, you get the Jannah. And who knows who get the Jannah, who get the Dozakh.
Like militant Islam is there. Same way we have the Hindutva.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel any similarity?
Yeah. You know, in Islam, as you've seen, the peaceful Islam all through the ages, and even in India, Islam is not new. It came in 7th, 8th century. In Kerala, it came right in the time when the Prophet Muhammad was alive. The Muslims, Kerala Muslims, some of the people became Muslims here in Kerala. In North India also came after 13th, 14th century, when they started coming, and these empire builders, I call them, empire builders, they started coming. The Turks, the first is in 13th century. So all those people who are started coming from south by the sea route or by the land route, and all that came to India, and then it is spread out in different portion of the India, because the languages are different, cultures are different. Tamil Nadu culture is different, your culture is different, my UP culture is different, all these cultures are different. So that is the kind of a thing is happened. And what was your question?
Regarding the similarity.
Yeah. So Hinduism is there, but in if you remember, 1922, there was a guy, or there was a gentleman, Savarkar, and he wrote a book, Hindutva, and he said very clearly in that book, it is still available, or I think is mostly available in the book store. He said that the Muslims religious places are not in India. They are outside. The Christian places are outside India. They are not the original here. And we have to throw them out. And he was inspired by one Italian rightist, I think his name, I've forgotten his name. And then he said that as the Hitler is done, because he removed that, so we have to follow that kind of a thing. And he said that we should not follow Hinduism, but we follow Hindutva, means the more weaponized Hindu. And similarly, as we have seen in Islam, and the Hinduism is also suffering presently because of that. And you see there are followers of Hinduism, and recently there is a book by Arun Shourie, he is a famous writer, and he said that when Hindutva people say, they always look for for someone to hit them. So they found out the followers of Islam in India, so we hate them and then bring the other communities together. So because in Hinduism, all communities is totally divided by caste basis, because but the Brahman says, because the Manu Smriti, what their books say, the Brahman is on the top and the rest on the bottom. And the bottom cannot enter into their temples and all that. Still, in many temples, they don't enter, the Dalits and all those people. So then this division was creating a problem for them. That's why they brought Hindutva and put Muslims against the Hindutva. They are there. So they are the problem for India. That's what they say in short. And the RSS was formed in 1920. They followed the same pattern, the headgear. And that is how the RSS is working in the communities and all that. And they are making them, spreading that Hindutva philosophy. So Hindutva is just like a aberration in Hinduism. Hinduism is very soft, very love-making, and it respects the other religions and bhakti movement, and Hinduism is no problem with Islam, and they work together. But Hindutva is a problem because they hate us. That is the problem.
Yeah. So you wrote Muslims in North India in 2009.
Right.
And actually, if my memory is right, you came to Kerala as VC of Calicut University in 2002, right?
Yeah, too.
So did your staying and interacting with South Indian Muslims, especially people in Kerala, inspired you to write that book?
Yeah, you know what happens when I came to Kerala, I was not knowing anything about Kerala. That's what I thank my mentor E. Ahmad Sahab, that he introduced me to a very unique kind of a geography and the Mapilla community here. So when I saw the educational institution here, at that time there, but of course it's not that big, but MES was there, so many other institutions. So I was really surprised how the community can develop from zero to that level, because when India got the independence, only Farooq College was there. And now you see, I don't remember how many colleges, with my university, Calicut University, at that time the 60 Muslim management colleges were there at that time. There must be more now. So these things happened, and here the Muslims are not restricted. Only the Muslim can be employed in that college. Most of the principals were non-Muslims, or whether Christian or Hindu, because they give the impression that we are for the knowledge we are teaching here. We are not caring who is the Hindu, who is the Muslim and all that. So that get another flavor of Kerala Muslims, which is unique. And my friend Professor Abbas Panakal is here, and he has written a book on matriarchy or matrilineal system in Kerala, and he said that was also removed or affected, is not fully removed, by the selfization of the Kerala, and they say, oh, it's a Hindu tradition which should not follow. That gives a lot of power to the women. Women are more empowered in Kerala than other places. Why? Because you have a tradition, which is a good tradition. There's nothing against Islam in that. And there's nothing against that. So these things are more and more come. I wish Professor Panekal will put in Malayalam that book, because most of our friends will read that. It's in English. He has written with Professor Nasser, who wrote my books forward.
Okay. Yeah.
So I hope he has written another good book about the Musalliar king, about the Mapilas. And another good point about that book I want to flag in that, say in 1919 or 20, there was a big movement after the fall of the what is the name, I just forgotten. So there was a known as Khalifa, or they say Khilafat movement.
Yeah.
Sorry, Khilafat movement was there, and it is a pan-Islamic movement. But Kerala Muslims has not accepted it. And they said that we are already having a non-cooperation movement against the Britishers with their Hindu friends, and they had a very big meeting on the Kerala beach on 25,000. But after that, even nobody was there, and it never resonated with the Kerala Muslims about the Khilafat movement. It is died down after some time. So that is the uniqueness of the Kerala community, which has its own culture and which has a good Islamic culture, and they stick to that, and they give rise. I think they are the leaders for India.
So, and also in that particular book, you make a very close, in-depth comparison of South Indian Muslims and North Indian Muslims.
Yeah.
And you make certain statistics about the growth trajectory of South India.
Yeah.
So, what actually happened to North Indian Muslims? Because they are more in number, they had leaders, but somehow they missed a lot of things.
I tell you very briefly. Because the Islam here, and it is everybody is equal here. There is no ashraf, there is no ajlaf, nobody. Nobody say that I am better than you. Everybody is equal. Everybody follows the Islam here. But North India, the feudal system was there, and there were the Muslims which are Syed, Pathan, and Sheikh, especially three communities, think they are above the others, and they are ashraf, the good people, and there is ajlaf, the converted from the...
Can we say that there's a kind of casteism?
Casteism, the very big casteism is there in Muslims. And if you look all the big people, say Nawab Bhopal or Mahmudabad, and they have not made a single college. They are very rich people. They had a huge thing.
Actually, many madrasas there.
No, madrasas, they came later, but not earlier. There were some other madrasas, but not created by them. Moneyed people. I'm talking those who have money, they would have made, because they were friends of the Britishers and they wanted to invest in education, they would have done it. So only Aligarh Muslim University was made with some donation by different people, but no big the king or the ruler from the Muslim community has invested anything in the education system. Here, the people who are having the very meager income, if somebody asks them that we are making a Bukhari college, why don't you give to? They will give it, but there they will not give it. But for making the show, they can do it, but not for the education, because they don't think the education is the empowerment, and they think they are the rulers. They know only one thing is the ruling class. So they thought we are the rulers, so why should we study education and all that? Even now they have that kind of attitude. So that is the big difference between them.
Nowadays, we have a lot of Kerala-based organizations taking up a lot of educational missions, especially in the northern side. So, do you have any particular pieces of advice or suggestions for them to take up? So, when they are taking up a lot of, they have started developing, even creating, and even constructing a lot of colleges and madrasas and other education institutions. So, do you have any piece of advice for them?
They have. And now so many are there. Say Jamia Hamdard is a private university, deemed to be a university, funded by one group, which is Hamdard, Ruh Afza and all those kind of a thing. They made it, but they invested in that money. And similarly, there are integral university there, Lucknow. So many things are coming up in recently. So, but not much as compared to Kerala. It's not much. It's there, but it's better than the last time. And those Islamia colleges which was built during the British time in 1930s, they are still the intermediate colleges. I'm also the product of one of that school. So it is known as Islamia Inter College, and it never progressed. So these are the kind of use, because you know the education can empower you. Education is the foundation of your growth, and it can build up your future. So that is where it is important. What kind of education? It's not important whether you take Islamic education or non-Islamic education, but education and knowledge is important.
Still many are there in the slum without bothering education.
Yeah.
In North India.
Yeah, they don't know about other things.
Yeah. So what advice can you give, especially some of the graduates even are running many of the institutions there?
You know, now, of course, certain, the government of India, the UP government has made a rule that those who pass from the madrasa, they will be equivalent of the 12th or something, if they pass certain English or some courses. If they give certain examination, so they will be considered as a 12th graders or BA pass and all that. So these things has come up recently, not earlier.
So, especially in your book, Fault Lines in the Faith, you have put aside some chapters regarding the Arab countries' attitude to Palestinian cause.
Yeah.
Recently, they have taken a U-turn, especially countries like UAE and Saudi Arabia. So, what might have prompted them?
No, I have not touched those things, but of course, you know, I have no answer for that. Why this Arab world, rich Arab world, are not supported them. That kind of a Palestinian cause, and America was doing earlier, but now they have also abandoned them, and it looks like that the whole world is abandoned them, and you can't see the sight how they are bombing the small children. They can't get food and all that. It's very horrible conditions are there. So it's very difficult to, even the Al Jazeera shows the whole graphic pictures and all that. But Qatar is also not supporting them.
Even students are asking what's the relevance of UNO, especially they are failing in addressing the humanitarian crisis of
UNO
Palestine.
is always be with the powerful. UNO is because they get the funding from those countries.
Yeah.
So they support them and all that. So that is their kind. But before you want more questions, or I want to close it?
Yeah, you can continue.
So, those who are interested in this book, it is being translated into Malayalam by the Matrubhumi. So, inshallah, by 6-8 months, it will be in Malayalam.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
thank you very much.
So, we have open forum. If any audience has questions, I think they can put up.
Don't ask difficult questions.
Hello. Please explain about your own sector, glaciology. Briefly explain about your sector.
No, I can explain it. So you have to go to the Himalaya to see a glacier. So you have to climb 6,000 meters. So no, I encourage you to travel to Himalaya. You go to Lahul and Spiti Valley, and there are certain places by roadside you can see a glacier. So if you go, you have heard about the Kargil. Kargil is a lot of Muslim community lives there, and from the Kargil to the another road goes towards some other town, and then you can see on the roadside there is a glacier. By car you can see it. So glacier is a ice which is staying for a longer time. Then because of the internal deformation they started moving, but you can't see it by face, but you can observe by putting up something. So you put up a stake there, and then after some time the stake is moved. It's very slow. So these are the indicator of climate change. Now they have all over the world they are shrinking, and most of the Himalayan glaciers are already gone, and some bigger one is still there, like Gangotri and in K2 area of Pakistan and so many other places. And I tell you, now there is a debate is going on the Indus River. The Indus River is only about 60-70% is fed by the glaciers, and they are giving a lot of water. So once the glacier has gone, the water will be reduced in that. So that is another dimensions of that. And most of the Himalayan rivers have some element of the glacier melt in that. And whether in Greenland the glaciers are there, and the North Pole, the ice on the sea is also melting, and now you see the polar bears having a problem cross from one area to other area, and the ships, some people are happy now the ships can go from the polar route to the other side, and that will be much cheaper than go to around the whole circumference of the Africa and all that. So all these things are happening. Some are good, help the good, and some are bad thing, but they are there. But they are the indicators of the climate change, a very good indicator. Because the sea rise, you can't see it also. There is a sea rise. And if you go to certain place in Kollam, you see that sea is damaging the road. I have seen it myself in Kollam area. And if you go to the Maldives, I've been to the Maldives, the sea is very close to the ground, and some water level is going up. And some people has observed in the Maldives Islands, which are the many resorts and hotels are there. So these things are to be observed. That's why I say the critical thinking is involved, and now you are talking about that. You try to observe, analyze, and see whether they are true or not, because in the climate change, lot of literature is available on net. Some are good, some are bad. So you have to identify which is good and which is bad, and that is required critical thinking, and that you should develop. Critical thinking. Okay, thank you. Okay.
You discussed about the condition of the Muslims all over the world. I am very happy to interact with you, first of all. Now, the condition of the Indian Muslims is going to be the pathetic, because the ruling party of our India is trying to misunderstanding about the Muslim community. What I am preferring to give, what is the solution, good solution for getting the good solution.
Okay, I got your point. Actually, there is no solution for anything. Say, for example, there are certain books, especially I refer Professor Abbas Panakal's book. He has removed so many misconceptions about that. He said that Islam is spread organically in India, and so many other people are writing that is the organic things, and it mixed with the local cultures and all that. So be proud of our culture. So it doesn't matter where we are Hindus or Muslim, but we belong to that culture. Okay?
But it is not more familiar to academia.
Yeah. No, even to the ordinary people. No, I understand that it is familiar, but when you talk to anybody and you say we are the same, we speak Malayalam language, eat same food and all that, it's separate that we have a different thing. So you are understand the local culture and you are embedded in the local culture. So it is Islam is spread like that, India. So Islam cannot be removed from India. It has some ups and downs. And if you remember that after 1857, the Britishers came and they killed so many Muslims in Delhi. They hanged them, but the Muslims survived, and inshallah Muslims will survive again.
How we can empower the Muslim community in our...
Empower through education. Through education. No other way you can empower them. Because if you have educated and you know everything, IT and all those on Islam, then you can be anywhere. You can go to Oman, you go to Africa, you can get a job, or even here you can, because of the internet and all that. That's why I was talking to him this few hours back, that you say, for example, I don't know Malayalam. There are many people coming to Kerala, they don't know Malayalam, but you should make an online app where we can learn on the online the Malayalam words, and we have a kind of a language we should pick up, which is a functional language. So, but nobody is doing it. So why don't you do it? You have a job here, and you get money, a lot of money in YouTube. If you put up in YouTube, you will make money. Why don't you do it? And there are so many people who want to learn Malayalam, and the English teacher, you use English teacher and put up some words, functional words. Say, I want to go there. So how I tell in Malayalam? I want a car. How I tell in Malayalam? So these are many things which you have to be innovative, man. You can earn a lot of money. Yeah. Don't think in one direction, think in multi directions, and you will be there. Because this time is a good time when everything is online, everything is technology driven, you can do many things. That's why I was talking with our friend, why don't you do the MBA in Islamic management? Why you do in the business? There are Islamic management problems these days. You do MBA. And then you introduce course in Bukhari colleges. So MBA can be done like that. Why you do MBA in business or in finance, in other things? Do MBA in Muslim management. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, there is chance for only one question. We want to wind up with that.
A simple question. How jihad is misrepresented in media and political speeches? What's the need for doing that?
Jihad. You know, there are two types of jihad. One is jihad within ourselves, because jihad is technically, if you see literally meaning of jihad, is to fight and do something, and jihad to do for others. So what media is representing, unfortunately, after this, the upsurge in the Muslim political Islam or Islamists, which happened globally, so they always take the example of that. Okay, and they try to understand. So that is why there are so many misrepresentation of the facts, and that can be removed by people writing the books and explaining them. Okay, it is not that Islam is not sanctioned killing of the people, but there were Muslims who are killed people. So you should stand against that. Okay, Islam never sanctioned people killing on the religious basis like that, or even other basis. Islam never sanctioned anybody to be killed. Even the ant, you cannot kill that. So why the people are doing it that way? So they are misrepresented by a different ideology, which are the weird ideology, which has put in their head by some motivated people, and they are acting their agents. So that is not Islam. Okay?
Yeah, very interestingly, one of the chapters in your book is closely connected with the question, the internet of jihadi mobilization.
The internet of jihadi mobilization. You read my book. Yeah. And I encourage everybody should read book. And now they are talking in on the television and other things. Yeah. And that's why I took it to Lucknow and had a discussion with them.
Great. Yeah.
To understand by other major community.
Okay. Maybe we can wind up the session with your few words on the book that is in the pipeline right now. So people are, your book, that is, you are in the pipeline. No, you have started writing a book.
No,
your future
I
book.
was comparing again in a bigger way.
Oh, right.
How the Islam is spread here and the North India.
Yeah.
Because my book at that time, my understanding was not full at that time.
Oh, yeah, right.
So that's why I'll be talking about the Muslims in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and all those, how they are influenced and all that. So it will be much bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor. It was a really wonderful session with you, and we had a very interactive, insightful kind of question-answer session. And definitely people will be reading your books, and they will get in Malayalam. Okay, let them read in whatever language they like. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.